We're gonna get into this ACL stuff.
Okay, yeah, sweet. Speaking of tearing things up, obviously we're all tearing things up out here. Mo tore up his knee.
Damn, OJ.
Well, you did.
I did tear it.
How's it feeling?
It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot better. Today was actually first day in the hydro works.
Nice.
So we did the underwater treadmill.
Oh, like you're running
That's
underwater?
fun.
Yeah. So usually, Dr. Gamera here, he likes 3 months out. You start like doing Ultra G. So you go like a percentage of your body weight. Usually, what up, Maddie?
What up, boys?
You usually go like 70% of your body weight. Water's like 50 when you go to your waist.
Yeah.
Dude, ACL is crazy. And like Lou, you tore it, so like maybe you can speak on it.
Yeah.
But it's not like anything else. And I think this is why it's such a big challenge mentally, and this is my theory. Because I think like your mind, you want to see patterns innately, and usually you want to see like an upwards trend with like without any
downwards.
Without any like
Just always progressing.
But in ACL, it's really rocky.
Yeah.
And like that's just the nature of it. And like I can feel great 100% today, and tomorrow I feel awful. And so like mentally it's like, okay, what did I do?
Yeah.
Like, and then you start thinking like, this is me, like I'm never gonna get it. You start like playing mind games with yourself.
Yeah.
And that's something I've heard as a recurring theme among like a lot of people. And that's the cool thing about like the ACL community, quote unquote. Like when I tore mine, a lot of people reached out to me, and it's like,
I went through it too.
There's this kind of like weird unsaid bond with it.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I know exactly what you're gonna go through. Like, amen, God forbid, like you tore it or someone, right? It's like I would be able to help you out with all the resources that I know, and I would know exactly what you're gonna go through and the pain you're gonna go through, and like.
Has anyone reached out to you with some crazy suggestions?
Ooh, like
some witch doctor shit?
No, that's me.
He is the witch doctor.
He is the guy.
Yeah,
He's the bone broth and everything.
Yeah, dude. Like I go all out with these kinds of things. Like when I got my concussion, like I went with like IV every day, glutathione, doing like all these kind of research. You know, like what. And Lou's kind of like on that same wave with me. Where like I'll send him articles like, dude, look at this mice study. Like you gotta inject this stuff. You gotta take this at this kind of day. I'll be taking like or like, you know, the blue light glasses, but that's kind of standard
now.
Yeah.
Like
back then it's like, dude, what are you wearing?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm always that kind of guy that I'm gonna do whatever it takes. Yeah.
Well, you do rehab here in Los Angeles, right? So
at SC, and so
you go to SC and you go somewhere else.
Sports Rehab LA.
That's the place where like all the celebrities go, right?
Dude, it's wild.
Okay, who's there?
Yeah, it's literally
like describe the scene.
Yeah, Jamie Foxx, Kevin Hart, all the Lakers, like AD. I haven't seen LeBron in there.
You just pull up and get PT, and Jamie Foxx is just in the corners.
It's freaking
What are they
wild.
doing there? I mean, other than like the athletes,
Logan
like,
Paul for like his boxing and stuff like that.
Yeah, but Jamie Foxx.
Well, isn't he training for that movie, the Mike Tyson movie?
Oh,
so it's like
probably trying to get swole.
Yeah, okay.
Well, it's like active recovery type, and if you can afford it and you live right there, like why not get like some soft tissue? And dude, like my first day there, the owner, like big USC fan, the doctor, he like rolled out the red carpet. It was really cool. He was like, dude, this machine right here, it's called like a physio something. Like you use magnets to like destroy your soft tissue in your knee. He goes, yo, there's 3 of these in the world. We have one of them, the Dodgers and the Lakers.
Wow.
He's like, we have clients that come all over California just for this one machine. And I'm like, all right, let's go. Let's do it. He puts me on the table. And Kyle Lowry from the Toronto Raptors, he walks by. And he's like, dude, you're going to die on that thing. he's like, dude, this is really painful. Good luck. Like, gives me a pat on the back. I'm like, all right, let's do it.
Let's go.
The guy, like, he's rubbing it all over my knee. And it's just like this intense, really, really bad pain on my knee, like all the soft tissue. Get off the table. It's the best I've felt in months. It was insane.
Could you have run?
It felt like I could.
What?
Yeah.
So what does it do? It's just,
dude, I don't know. Dude, I don't know. Yeah. The whole place, like, and I don't know, it sounds like a freaking ad for him, but it's not, especially like NIL, it might seem like it, but
like low key it is. It's like,
Find them at this
they
location.
passed me like 10K.
Use discount code Mo Hasan.
Yeah. Use discount code Hasan10, get 10% off. No. Huge fan, honestly. The people there are freaking amazing. Like if I mean, I want to help out obviously anyone who's going through something similar. They're over in the Valley. They have one in Glendale. Total game changer. So yeah, doing that twice a week. And it's not to say SC is not killing it with their rehab.
Are they good?
They're, in my opinion, I think they're some of the best in the country. But it's obviously they're not gonna have the same machinery and different hands on you, different eyes.
1% of the 1%.
Yeah.
I mean, I drove down, or anytime I flew into California from Philly, I would go to someone's house to use like a special like infrared laser therapy just on my knee to help. And I'd always go back.
Dude, they have that too.
Yeah.
Laser?
Yeah.
I love laser.
I mean, like this was back like 3, 4, well, geez, like 6 years now.
Damn.
It's been a minute, but like this is when like them things were hard to
cutting
find.
edge.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. He was showing me. He's like, we just flew this red light therapy from Germany. You lay down, it's a whole bed.
Yeah.
And it like scans your whole body.
What?
Dude, they've got everything. It's absolutely insane. And I mean, if all these NBA and NFL guys are there, there's something to it. Yeah. I asked them. I was like, hey, do you do a lot of ACLs? Just kind of like small talk. He looked at me like I asked like the worst, like most obvious question in the world.
Asking dumbass
Yeah. Why are you asking me these dumb questions? He like just pointed at the wall. It's like Julio Jones, Cam Newton, all pro, NFL, whatever, blah 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 blah. He's like, dude, I did all their ACLs. He's like, we're gonna get you right. I was like, all right.
I feel like sports therapy has just gone crazy over the past 10 years.
Yeah.
Like Adrian Peterson, the way he rebounded.
Which
right
was
after,
insane.
Well, did he win MVP or did he run for
he
2000?
won MVP.
The next year, yeah.
It's just then everything from like whoop and everything, the technology behind it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the doctor even told me, he's like, you're lucky you've done this. Like, ACL is not the plague anymore. No. Like, you're going to be back.
No, man, it's more mental more than anything.
Yeah.
I believe. I mean, even like I haven't run in 3 months.
Oh yeah.
And so mentally, I'm
That's
like,
tough.
I was kind of scared. And even to do like the little ladder drills, like on my own pace, like 2 feet each, kind of lateral stuff. And I'm like, dude, like, is this thing gonna hold up? Like,
yeah.
And so I mean, obviously, at some point, I'm gonna get over, it, and it's just kind of something that everyone goes through. I think it just takes time and reps and kind of like to build that confidence. I don't know how long it took you.
Took a year. Full year.
A full year.
A full year where I was in games where I was like, I don't think
and you're
about
not
it
thinking
anymore.
about it. Yeah,
but I kept the brace on.
And yeah, I'm gonna wear the brace.
Yeah.
And I'm used to wearing it from Bandy because they had us quarterbacks wearing on our front leg.
I thought the first 9 months I retore it maybe twice a month.
What?
I would go into the training room and I'm like, please check my knee.
It's done.
I think I tore it again.
The graft, yeah.
Yeah. And they're like, dude, come on.
Please
After a while, they're just like, we do this every time. I'm like, I just need you to tell me that it's good.
Yeah.
So that I need to get used to knowing that like my knee is never going to feel the same again. I was literally just telling Eamon today, like I hit legs hard and now like
my knee hurts.
It's catching and it's doing the thing where I'm like, oh my gosh, is this thing stable? Yeah. And I'm like, just realizing like, oh wow, it's just like my leg is so fatigued. Yeah. Or I did an MRI and then like, I thought I did something to my knee and I was like, I tore it. It had to be done. And they're like, no, like it's pretty messed up in there, but everything's intact.
Yeah, they'll tell us fine. Yeah.
That's how it is.
I feel like that's with any injury. Like I tore my shoulders, like my shoulders still hurt. My knee, I broke my femur and my legs still hurt sometimes.
Yeah.
Like I just feel like you're never 100%.
How about you?
I mean, OJ had an injury. How do you feel?
Yeah.
I've had an interesting time with my ankle injury because I had a couple surgeries and the first one went cool and the second one went cool and I've traveled back to see doctors and they're like, there's still some stuff we could probably fix in there. So I'm like, oh, that's great. Get to that after the season, I guess. But no, I'm sweet. I'm performing.
Yeah.
I'm like all my PBs are higher than last year. We was like squatting this morning. Big boys throwing up like 500 pounds. I'm throwing like 450. We're chilling.
Oh, you're killing
And
it.
I think that's the bright side. Like, came back better than before.
Oh yeah,
it's like a huge blessing.
Yeah, new PBs and all that. Yeah.
Well, and you hear stories about it, and then you're like, it reinforces the idea you can do it too.
Fully.
Oh,
and people who had it worse.
Yeah.
Like when I first hurt mine, the first thing I looked at was like, okay, who had the same injury and who came back better? Like AP is the obvious one. I looked at Amari Rogers at Clemson. He came back in like 6 months, like a freakish thing.
That's a receiver.
And
well.
yeah, right. Who's cutting more than me?
Everywhere.
And the other one, not an ACL, but Alex Smith with his crazy
Just
leg injury.
insane.
He had like 17 surgeries,
back.
bro.
Right,
Yeah.
playing the
Someone
NFL
died
at a
from
high
that,
level.
Yeah.
He had like 17 surgeries because he kept getting infected.
And there's that image, that gruesome image, like his leg is like black
Done.
and it looks like he's
It's
gonna lose the
done.
leg.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude,
He's a dog.
I've got it better than Alex.
Yeah.
You
Way
know,
better.
so You have to look for those little things.
It is also a mix of just time and resources too.
True.
Yeah.
Professional recovery is slightly different than
the normal recovery. Yeah, when you're on a time.
Or student athlete recovery. Just, I mean,
relative to the NFL.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like you have a bunch of resources. Especially
Yeah,
at
I feel
USC.
like I have just about the same resources.
Yeah, but I'm more saying just like on average. It's like it's everything can be kind of like so environmental based.
Yeah.
And situational.
Well, I mean, obviously that's kind of worst case, kind of like what he had.
Yeah.
And if someone like that's able to come back and fight through it, then it's like who am I to say I can't?
Right? Mentally is the toughest part just after the injury for you. Like you say, you're through the worst of it.
No.
I think your worst part's going to be getting back.
I think it's going to keep getting harder.
Really?
That 9 to 12 point, like getting the confidence to play the way that you know you can play.
That was the toughest part.
Cutting.
It's breaking through the brain. Like your brain is going to hold something back, just like out of the fear that it's like. I've replayed that image in my mind like over and over and over. Like when I do a certain cut, I would almost like not trust myself to just be, as athletic as possible and fully plant and, twist, move, whatever. And I'm like, it took so long. Like that's a difference between a play made and a play, like you're just there or you're just around, But like that haunts you and you watch film and you're like, dude, like I don't know what it is. And then it's even more frustrating because now you're like, I'm not playing to where I know I can play.
I feel like more injuries happen too.
Yes, if you're playing like
you're playing timid.
Exactly.
You start overcompensating.
Yeah.
The overcompensation was what I was most worried about. Because yes, bro.
I feel like you're almost safer when you're playing fearless.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
100%.
That's all it was.
You're doing the hitting.
It's like a paradox. Yeah.
But it's like it's a whole mind game of just like telling myself like, dude, like get out of it, like just let it go. Like if it happens again, it happens again. Whatever. Like just accept the consequence. Like whatever, whatever it has to be said to yourself or whatever you have to do to just get yourself to be like.
It's such a brutal thing when it's non-contact too, because it can happen at any
point in time.
Yeah.
I disagree. I think you're past I think you're through the woods. I think the toughest part for me was going from 0 to 1. Like you can't do anything. You're walking around doing nothing. Going from that to running for me was the toughest part. Like you're after surgery, you're on drugs or whatever. They're giving you perks or whatever it is to keep the pain down. You can't eat anything. Can't sleep without drugs. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, like that's pure pain. That's a different thing I think than what we're saying. Yeah. Like obviously, like that period of time is like the most painful and like the worst mentally. But we're saying in terms of like confidence on the field.
Oh yeah. In that case, like going from not cutting to cutting for me is a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Running a straight line, you're cool, and you're like, oh, change direction.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. Yeah, it's like the Derrick
But then
Rose,
it's like,
right?
imagine if your injury happened if it was just off cutting and not off of contact.
I'd be shook.
Yeah, that's the difference.
You'd be like, dude, this can happen again at any
Both
point.
of ours happening just off of non-contact. It's like a mechanical issue in my in how I move. Forces to who knows?
Could happen again at any time.
You're like, what the
And I've never had a knee injury ever in my life. Like no sprain, like
nothing.
tendonitis.
Nothing.
Nothing ever. And like I felt completely fine leading up to the spring game.
Right.
I mean, I was in the training room.
Best shape of your life.
Yeah, a lot of the day I was getting my body right. It was gonna be, this huge moment in my career where like we were competing and. The goal obviously like we were winning the game and like we kind of like created this like little rivalry like Gold and Cardinal whatever, and it kind of just all led to that, and so it's kind of like the highs and lows were just insane. Yeah.